Yo, you're back with another video, the third one today. God, I'm putting in the work now. To talk a little bit about, prepping, because I've been asked, mostly by people offline, about prepping, tools you need, survival knives, what sort of bits and bobs you need, for when shit hits the fan. Now, I've got quite a bit of tools, and today I'm just going to cover a few basic ones just to get people, understanding what prepping is, why you need to prep up, and, just a few little items and stuff you're going to need. So, firstly, well, why would you need to prep? What is prepping? Well, prepping can be many different things. I mean, we can all prepare for, like, say, a natural disaster. So something like the Hurricane Katrina, for example, people can stack up on food, put it in different places, medical supplies. Because anyone that's awake knows that FEMA is, well, they're not going to help you. FEMA is a part of the American government, and they're not going to be able to do their job properly because that is not really their job. But I've covered a bit about FEMA and the FEMA caskets and the concentration camps in my film. So take a look from my YouTube channel, and you should better see my hour-and-a-half film on the FEMA camps, the trains, the caskets. I think I did the trains, I can't remember. Maybe I need to put that in. But anyway, so we've established a reason why you might want to stock up. Now, some people are becoming aware of the financial collapse, which is supposed to be imminent. I mean, I can't say when it's going to happen, but there's certain crisis and stuff in the world which has been made by design, was leading us up to full-blown New World Order. So you've got to think of, the situation. Well, there's a financial collapse. There's no money in the world. The shops are closed. Well, how are you going to survive? So we're already having food shortages anyway. So in this country, in America, and around the world. So first and foremost, you need to start prepping, water. Water is a necessity. And obviously enough food for yourself, and if you have a family, wife, kids, etc, etc, make sure you have enough food for them and water. Medical supplies as well. You can get first aid kits pretty cheap, to be totally honest with you. So that's some of the basic stuff. So other sorts of prepping can be for, like, in America, people are stocking up on guns, ammunition, etc, etc. But for general survival and give yourself a better chance, we need things like survival knives. This is a Bear Grylls knife. It's not very good for, survivor situation. A bit small, but you can do a little bit with it. Cut a bit of rope or something like that. So, it's not a bad knife. It's got, a little butterfly knife. It's got a little catch here, so if you're doing something, it's not going to come out until you release the trigger there. And obviously it folds down. One of my survival knives I've literally got today, well, a couple of days ago actually, is this one, which is the Old Hickory butcher knife. And it says on the back, Old Hickory knife subdued by the finest high carbon cutlery steel for the best results, hand wash and dry completely to prevent rusting. With continued use, blade may tarnish, your guarantee of genuine high carbon steel, blah blah blah. So, household boning, slicing knife, paring knife, butchering knife, paring knife. They're all different ones that they do. This is obviously the butchery knife. Full tang, carbon steel blades, antique finish, made in the United States of America. So let me just use this and get this out. Make a little incision. Put the knife away. And this one, not traditionally what you would say as a survival knife, but it's just a very cheap knife. As I say, it's full tang, and if anyone doesn't know what full tang is, if you look, it's hard to do it on here, it's like looking in a mirror. Here we go. It goes all the way down to the bottom, so that means it's full tang. So it's a nice strong robust knife. The handle's brilliant, the blade's nice. Even from opening it, it's got a bit of sharpness to it. I haven't obviously, I've just got this out, so I haven't actually obviously sharpened it up, but it's got a bit of sharpness to it. Now, there's many things that you may or may not need a survival knife for in a shit hits the fan situation. Now, I don't want people thinking, oh look, he's got knives, look, he's a danger, he's going to go out and use them on the public. No. The reason we have survival knives is not to, you know, I mean, yes, there could be an element for self-defense, but it's not to go out there and attack people, contrary to the average person's belief. When you live out there, you know, if you go somewhere like into the woods, the forest or whatever, you're going to need tools to be able to, you know, chop up woods, batten woods, which is, you know, where you take the knife and sort of hammer it down, you know, to get yourself nice, you know, smaller pieces of wood. Basically, a knife is not about going out and necessarily using it to cause harm to people, but it's for a survival situation, your knife can be your best friend. You know, you can use it to cut certain things up, you know, like, you know, lots of grass, you know, cut them up into the right bits, tie it up, boom, now you have a rope. Survival knives are very important in a survival situation. And obviously, you know, you get what you pay for, and that old hickory is, from what I've seen of the reviews, it's very, you know, it's very strong for battening woods. It's an all-round good knife from what I've actually seen. It's very cheap. I believe I got mine from Amazon, and I'll probably post a link in the description if I remember, or if anyone's interested. If I haven't, you know, just give me a little poke. Woodstar, sort it out. So yeah, basically that is one of the things, you know, one of the importance of survival knives. You know, as I say, I regularly get asked by people, well, okay, well, you know, this financial collapse is coming, what do I need? Now, one of the other things that I was talking about is obviously food and water, and having enough supplies to be able to do things. You know, I've gone into, like I said, the food, the water, and obviously the medical supply as well. One other thing that may be of interest to you, 1 second, I will be back momentarily. Right. Well, when the shit hits the fan situation, these could be your best friends. I mean, a lot of people say they're not very good for a long-term storage. Shit hits the fan situation. So, these, I don't know if you can actually see it, water purification tablets. So, I think it's pretty self-explanatory what water purification tablets are. I'm sure everyone knows, or certainly most people. But if you don't, they're for purifying water. What does purify mean? Making water safe to drink. Very, very important. In a shit hits the fan situation, I mean, you can pick up thousands of these, really cheap, as you can see. I've got a whole box, you know, if you can sort of see, you know, open this up. Literally a whole box full of them. Because I like, you know, disappearing, going off grid and doing certain things. There's many different uses you can use when you're in a shit at the fan situation. A good trick when you're out there, if you haven't got much, is using sarnie bags and a straw. And you think, how's that going to work? Well, you're at a stream that's got all stuff in it. So how will I purify it? Well, you take your bag, which of course isn't a sarnie bag, but we used this previously from my last video I just uploaded. Consider this a sarnie bag. Put the water in there, hold it, tie it up, drop your water purification tablet in there. 20 minutes, half hour, whatever you want to leave it for, whatever you personally feel. And then you just got a straw. Yep, it's not exactly the best solution. I mean, there's obviously, when you get more into prepping and stuff, you will have access, or if you allow for certain things, you'll be able to, you know, get enamel cups, you know, camping cups and all that sort of stuff. Just to basically give yourself and your family enough to be able to live. And you might be thinking, you know, one of the common questions is, well, with all this survival gear, you know, how am I going to use it? Well, you know, what am I going to do? Where am I going to store it? Well, your common supplies, which is your survival knife, your water purification, your health tablet, sorry, not health tablets, water purification tablets, you know, and any sort of tinder and any sort of fire making equipment will Well, it would be in your bug out bag, and maybe if you request it, or maybe I'll just do it, I'll talk a little bit about bug out bags and why they're a necessity, but you can get them pretty cheap. Use eBay and all of that. So a lot of people feel that preppers are paranoid, delusional. Oh, look, these people. Well, if you look at today's issues, what's going on in the world, anyone that's, it doesn't matter how much of a sheep you are, you know, how awake you are, can see that certain things in the world are changing. Now, a lot of people don't want to face up to the realities that the shops are going to shut because they'd rather listen to the government and the government mouthpiece, aka the mainstream media, the BBC, Sky, ABC News, CNN, whatever the American ones are called. But the facts are quite simple. This is going to happen whether you like it or whether you want to come to terms with it. Now, throughout history, it's shown those that have been prepared have actually survived the longest and actually survived the overall crisis. Now, there are some extreme extensions and cases of prepping, stocking up. Normally where, people believe in zombie apocalypse and all, I need to have this, and it. There's many different, things to prepare for, Essentially, if you go to the shop and you don't fancy doing shopping every single week, you could do 2 weeks to a month's worth of prepping. Because that's essentially what you're doing. You're preparing. Doesn't necessarily mean you've got a disaster in mind. There's lots of different things, different types of prepping, as I say, and we all prep, whether we realise it or not. And it's not a paranoid thing to be able to, look after yourself and your family, because if you don't, you're relying on the government, and they say it as a joke, but what's the 5 most scariest words? I'm from the government and I'm here to help. But that wasn't 5. I'm from the government and I'm here to help. 8. See, I'm half asleep. Been busy all day. So the 8 most terrifying words are as follows. I'm from the government and I'm here to help. Well, anyone that knows anything about disasters, and specifically FEMA, which I touched a little bit on previously, and definitely watched, the FEMA casket video. The government is not going to be there to help you in a crisis. They're not going to be there because they're not planning to be there for the people. So you need to do it yourself. And there's lots of other videos out there that explain it a lot better than me. I'm obviously trying to expose, the New World Order. I'm trying to expose the paedophiles within government, the Agenda 21, the FEMA caskets, the FEMA trains, all of the stuff, what they're doing, the laws that they're actually, breaking. How they're basically, driving us to a one world government, which is pretty much already in place. And people go, well, what one world government? The one world government I told you about many years ago, for example. Now, if you remember Daddy Bush's speech, we have a real chance of this New World Order where the accredited UN can use its peacekeeping roles and whatever other shit the elite has shoved in his fucking throat. Basically, New World Order is not for the people. It never was about the people. It's about them taking over with a complete one world government where they track everything you do and say, and they can control you, which they're also going to be releasing the RFID chips. I think it's RFDI, but whatever it is, I call them the RFDI. But these chips that have been spoken about, and you've probably seen them on the news, and they say it's new technology. They've been making this for years. The government is going to take over into a one world evil government where they control everything you do and say, and everything is going to be monitored. I mean, we're already living in them sort of times. If anyone's ever seen the film Demolition Man, for example, well, that's kind of what we're heading for right now. So basically, people have got to prep, and in certain parts of the world, and I think it's even certain parts of America, they're actually making it illegal to collect rainwater, for example, which rainwater should not be illegal. Doesn't matter what they spin it and say it as. It's not illegal, regardless what they say. And there's people, Mr. fucking Obama. Oh, I criticised Obama. Well, Obama has put it into one of his executive orders that any people prepping, they can just take your supplies like that. So if anyone really wants to look into the facts of it, well, why would Obama do that? You know, I briefly mentioned in the film that I told you about the FEMA caskets. Well, in a way, they're prepping up, but they're prepping up to be able to basically kill people in mass numbers, put them into these FEMA caskets. Do you know what I mean? They're easy to get rid of, you know, and essentially that is another form of prepping up, or prepping. So basically, you know, the question is, well, what do we do about it? Well, when people don't have enough food and enough water to be able to look after themselves, and the necessity, or bare necessity, is what people need to be able to look after themselves in these sort of crises, this is when the government's got the most power over you. And yes, they'll put the charade of, oh, look, we're trying to feed you, blah, blah, blah. And then they're going to force it upon you. Well, we can put in a new currency, but we need a one world government, which is already there anyway. It's already, you know, put in motion. Like they've forced us into the EU, which obviously comes under the UN, and all the other regions of the world have basically been forcibly put in under the UN. So I mean, the North American Union, for example, is starting to take shape. So basically, it's a time when people need to start realizing that your government, or any government, is not your best friend. Your government hasn't got your best interest at heart. You should have your best interest at heart, and therefore not relying on, you know, the government, which is elite run, you know, mostly by bankers and other powerful businesses, etc., etc. You know, you need to be able to take that step yourself. You need to, because if you don't, no one's going to look after you or your family. And I'm sorry to be the one, you know, that has to tell you this, the bearer of bad news. Excuse me. But I believe it's my duty to inform you, because I don't want to see good people dying and suffering and getting to the point of starvation. Yes, I'm a conspiracy theorist. I mean, that word was derived in the 50s and 60s to actually silence dissent. What I actually am is somebody who researches the truth, and I'm risking my life even bringing this information to you. You know, I'm sure maybe some of you have stumbled onto this video and thinking, ooh, let's have a good laugh at the conspiracy theorist. Well, I'm sure, you know, you've had a good laugh, but if you don't take this seriously, you're going to be the one laughing on the other side of your face. Because history has showed this so many times. I mean, if you know anything about Adolf Hitler and the concentration camps, there was trouble with the economy. You know, oh, come here for food and shelter and blah, blah, blah. You'll be looked after. Oh, no, they're actually concentration camps. Oh, look, now you're being gassed. So, you know, you can either take your chances with people like me, you know, that are trying to, you know, look out for you, and we are pro-humanity, or, you know, you with them who don't give a fuck about you and quite happy to kill you, to put it bluntly. I mean, as George Bush says, you're either with us or you're with the terrorists. Well, the only real terrorists I see are the people behind their little gates and their little security. So that's the Queen. I mean, I'm not advocating any violence here. I'm not advocating, you know, doing anything. But my point is, you know, these leaders, you know, why do they need so much security? Why are they, you know, behind these big gates and they, you know, using the police force to protect them, and obviously have access to the army and stuff to protect them? And you might think, well, you know, they're important people, you know, they're VIPs, they need to be protected. Well, why do they need to be protected? If they're doing nothing wrong, they don't need to be protected. Now, you see, if I was a politician, I would not be living in a palace, for one, making people pay for my rent and pay for everything else so I can live in a Buckingham Palace. Or, you know, at the 10 Downing Street, I'd be living in the same, you know, in the same neighbourhoods that I've grew up in, you know, would not be behind gates because I wouldn't be doing anything wrong. I'd be for the people, and yes, if I was to put policies, some people wouldn't like them and some not, but I'll do what I would feel is generally right for the people until obviously, you know, I'd enforce it by votes. But anyway, the point what I'm trying to say is If they're not doing anything wrong, they don't need to be protected. They don't need to be behind these fucking 30-foot gates and fucking enough guards, you know, to fucking, you know, whatever. So, you know, we've got to stop trusting the government because, I mean, I obviously I'm awake and obviously I keep up to date with what's happening in America, but certainly in the UK, you know, they're renouncing the paedophiles in the government of every single level. They're practically announcing what they're doing, and people are still complaining, and they still have trust in the government. Now, obviously, I'm awake. I understand how the mind control works, and I keep reiterating this. The word government is derived from guvernare mentis. I think that's how you pronounce it. Two Latin words. It means those who control the mind, and I've put that in one of my films. You know, check that out. But the facts are, we as a collective, a group of people, regardless of race, sex, classification, rich, poor, whatever, middle class, we need to come together and make a change. But before we can even necessarily make a change, we need to start prepping, having food supplies, maybe, you know, growing a bit of food and stuff, getting away from the getting onto the organic, and getting away from the GMO and all these other products. You know, all of these sort of things are going to be, you know, are going to be paramount to our future, because they are destroying the planet as it is anyway. You know, we really need to take action, and I'm not, again, advocating violent action, but something needs to be done. Do you know what I mean? Whatever a collective of people decide, we all are, you know, in this together. You that's watching it may think, oh look, his conspiracy, oh look, you know, tinfoil head or whatever the fucking phrase is. I'm no different to you, yeah. You're in this just the same as I'm in this. You know, I'm talking to you now. You know, it might be a camera, but I'm talking to you. You know, you can hear me. I'm looking at you. You know what I mean? We are all in this together. And I'm trying to bring this stuff to you so you can protect yourself. Now, I've been having loads of trolls and weird stalker people, you know, who, you know, trying to, you know, distract people, you know, from the content of these videos. Now, I see people are watching it. And I don't really, you know, it's the same people keep watching, you know. But I don't see anyone subscribing and really taking this necessarily seriously. Some of my subscribers, you know, have messaged me through Facebook and other things, and, you know, they're encouraging me to, you know, continue doing this. But the facts are, these little trolls and these little stalker type, you know, you can say whatever you want about me. I'm not going anywhere, yeah? So you little trolls behind your little fucking computer screens, and you want to talk shit behind your computer, I ain't even hearing it, yeah? You want to say that to my face? Well, could be a different story. So you stay safe in your little bubble and your little typing away, because regardless what you or any other idiot has to say, I'm here to stay. Whether I get 1 million subscribers or I get 10 subscribers or everyone decides to unsubscribe from me, I'm still going to make videos. I'm still going to do what I believe is right. And some people believe, oh look, it's pro-humanity, I'm a loser. Well, okay, if that makes me a loser, actually, you know, giving a shit about humanity and trying to help humanity, well, then I'm a loser. And certain people make reference to my weight, which isn't as big as the camera would lie, or certainly lie. I can hardly pull anything on it. There is a little bit because the camera, you know, obviously had £10, but, you know, at the end of the day, look, it's not much. Well, you know, a lot of the reason that I have any excess weight on me at all is because I don't bring stuff to people on YouTube or offline half-baked. That's not who I am, and that's not what I'm about. I research everything I tell you. I use myself as a fucking guinea pig. So when I tell you the fluoride is bad, not because I've just researched it and I've seen all the proof. I have tested the fluoride on myself. I've done certain things. I use myself as a guinea pig, so I know. So I don't come to someone, or even as a collective of people on YouTube, and basically, well, fluoride is bad, I've researched. No, I've lived it. I've tested it. I've found things on myself. And when I come to you guys with anything that's going to improve your health or any such thing, it's because I know what I'm talking about. I've been there, I've done it. You know, I've been ill for many years, you know what I mean? For years and years I was having a lot of problems, and I had to literally change everything in my diet, and I had to look into everything in more detail, what these chemicals do. You know, I like I say, I use myself as a guinea pig. You know, I eat a lot of this junk food when I do. Obviously, I mostly eat healthy. I mean, I'll do another video, what's in Woodster's fridge, and you will see. But when I do eat the bad food, I have spells of doing it. And, you know, it's like that, I think it's called Super Size Me. That guy used himself as a guinea pig. You know, if anyone knows about the Super Size Me, it's the same sort of thing. Because if somebody eats, say, I don't know, someone's got certain symptoms, and they tell me their symptoms, and I can go, oh, do you eat a lot of this, and this, and they go, why do you not eat a lot of Doritos? Because of the chemical in it. So basically, it's another way to get people's attention. So whatever I do is to help you. So if you want to sit there and type, oh, he's a fucking idiot, oh, this guy ain't got a clue, you don't have a clue, yeah? And you want to talk shit because you feel safe behind your little computer screen. And we know the government hires trolls to blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, if that makes me a loser in your eyes, then fine. That makes me a loser in your eyes. You know, I'm trying to do something and you're just talking shit on a YouTube page. Okay, who has no life now? Who's the loser now? But anyway, I've digressed into something I wasn't meaning to digress into, but I hope you like this video, the publication and the new videos that I'm bringing to yourselves. Really working hard on as many different things. You know, I'm trying to get the health section out there, and I've got a few other videos and stuff to do today if I get a chance to do it. They may not be uploaded today, but I'm doing quite a few. You know, there's a lot of things going to be changing with this channel. So, you know, just going to keep it going, people. You know, more videos on prepping. Survivor gear will be coming up soon. But that also doesn't take away from the videos where I'm exposing the government. I'm trying to do so much, you know, because people ask me questions, and obviously, you know, unless I put it into, you know, a platform such as, you know, YouTube, I'm not reaching as many people. I mean, I know thousands of people, you know, offline, you know, that have asked me questions and I've helped them, you know, with the health stuff, obviously waking people up. The facts are I can only do so much in one area, and there's other areas that need to be done as well. You know, maybe one day I'll split my YouTube channel down. I don't know yet. But what I need to do is continue bringing, obviously, the videos exposing, you know, the New World Order, the elite, you know, the Russell Blands of the world, as I call him. You know, basically the fake truth movement, you know, it's all going to be exposed, and it's all going to be, you know, I'm going to discuss it all. Whether you trolls and haters and stalkers like it or not, you ain't going to stop me. So, anyway, if you got any questions about prepping, you know, shit hits the fan situations, you know, anything at all, you know, drop me a or, you know, just down there. Or basically, you know, send me a message on YouTube. That's not a problem, and I'll do my best to answer you. But just a little warning, anyone that wants to bring negativity to my channel, little trolls and stalkers that got nothing better to do, you're a waste of time, you're a waste of air, you're a waste of skin and bones, you know what I mean? You're a waste of my time. So any negative comments are going to be blocked, because I don't see why I should have anything to do with people like you that just want to take my time up. Anyway, YouTube, Woodster's out. Peace.